Oh no! Now I'm going to keep the intro short, but there's a few things on this bike which I've changed since last time. I kind of got fed up of the front brake not working, so I've stuck on a Magura MT5 on there, so yeah, it's not a cheap bike anymore. I've also made my own rear brake pads, so this will be the first ride for them. Should be interesting to see if they hold up well. I've also now got a 4-finger lever blade on the back brake for even more power, and I've got a prototype Helmetor steel brake booster on the back to my own design, made by Helmetor, which will be available soon from their site to stiffen up the back brake and hopefully make my back brake as powerful as possible. This is also my first ride on the adjustable stem, so you may see me adjust that lower, higher, depending on what I'm going to ride. Now, I have come to the park because I love riding on trees, and this is Pollock Park, which actually has some really cool trees. I came scouting here at the start of the lockdown and actually trimmed a few dead branches. This tree has a particularly good bit that side of the camera, but someone has decided to turn it into some kind of den. It's actually, I'm so frustrated because I really want to ride this tree. I spent ages trimming it, getting it ready to ride, but that is a really cool looking den. At some point in the future I do want to ride this tree, but I won't do it today. There's plenty of other stuff to ride. Let's get on with it because I've talked too long. Happy with these side ops. Let's risk it with a pivot. After riding street tyres for 10 years, I am amazed how well like soft compound downhilly trials tyres grip. It is unreal. There we go. You know what? I'm curious right now, what does a lower handlebar feel like this? Let's try and find out. Oh, how much lower shall we go? Foot came off the pedal. Oh, come on. Right, lower stem. It's definitely feeling harder to me. There we go. Maybe with some getting used to, that'd be alright. That feels so much harder. I'm putting those bars back up a little bit. Ooh, that's hard work. Not a big difference, but enough. It's not a street bike. It's not a street bike. So I fully expected the back brake to slip then, but it seems the longer lever blade, Helmetor booster and my own brake pads held up all right. Fingers crossed they continue to do that, because that's awesome when you have a brake that works. Going up to front from static, definitely pretty hard. Oh, that's the one. It's all about that preload. Oh. This is one thing I definitely find harder with a high bottom bracket, is going from that front wheel and swapping to the back wheel. With a lower bottom bracket, you don't have to swap that far. Your back wheel is actually pretty close to where it needs to be. With a high bottom bracket, longer wheelbase, you've actually got to jump quite far from that position. So I reckon some of these up to fronts I've had, if it was on my hex, I'd have been able to do the swap, but because I got to jump this further, I'm bailing out because I just know it's not going to get there. So I just need to land a little further on top, get a little bit steeper, and it'll be fine. Oh no! Ah, close! Alright, part of me is really happy with that. Part of me is annoyed I went really sideways. In my mind I had this as a gate and I think my back wheel went over it. I really want to get it nice and straight, and at the risk of being repetitive I'm going to try it again with a lower stem and see if that helps. Yep, gross, but here's a warm day today. And check out how low that stem is now. Let's see if this makes this any easier. Yeah, that's weird. It's kind of scary. The front end's so low, it just feels like you're just putting your face right next to the log. Here's hoping I don't actually do that. So close. Oh, come on. No. Ah. Still sideways. Ah. There we go. That was a battle. I knew it was going to be hard, but I didn't think it was going to be that hard. In conclusion, having a lower front end, I think, did make it a little bit easier, but still took me as many attempts. So, inconclusive. I'm having a drink now. Alright, pretty satisfied with some of the stuff I've done this log, but I want to see if this is any easier to go up to front from a little bit of a run up. I see a lot of comp riders these days, one of the favourite moves seems to be pedal up to front. So I'm going to give one a try and see if that's any easier than from a static. Now, I actually find these quite scary. Getting the timing right from a pedal I find a little bit weird. I normally bunny hop up to front. It's a big fluffy dog. And doing it on rough ground again makes it a little bit tricky, so I'll try not to kill myself and see if this is any easier. That was weird. Oh. Okay, so who'd have thought adding a bit of momentum makes it easier? Yeah, happy with that. I would carry on, but I am absolutely exhausted and I'm starting to make mistakes and bits of my body's hurting, so yeah, I'm calling it. I'm really happy with how the back brake's working. My homemade pads, booster and the long lever certainly seem to be doing the job. And adding the MT5 front brake, oh man, such a difference. It is so nice having confidence with your brakes. Overall, I'm pretty happy with some of the riding that I've done today. Starting to get used to the bike. Some of the comp style techniques that I used to do are starting to come back to me. And I think if I carry on, I can only get better on this thing. I really enjoy riding my inspired Hex, but it's actually quite nice to do something different every now and then. I've got this park near my house with all these cool trees, so it's nice to mix things up and keep things fresh. So now's the time I say I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit subscribe if you did. Post a comment down below. I love reading them. I do read them all, even if I don't always reply. And check out my longer videos on Patreon for $2 a month, and also Clarkson.com for some merch, or PayPal for any donations. All of these things will be linked down below. Not sure if my disguise will still be on next time, but either way, I'll see you then. Have an absolutely fantastic week. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.